There's something about Craigslist that's always felt off. No algorithms, no filters, just strangers offering free furniture, rides, or odd jobs. And sometimes those listings are exactly what they seem. But other times, they're traps. These are the 3 creepiest Craigslist encounters I've ever experienced. And I swear to you, every single one of them is true. The couch delivery that was never about a couch. I had just moved across the country. New city, new job, new apartment. No friends, no furniture. Just me, a suitcase, and this strange feeling that I had left behind more than I realized. I'd sold almost everything before the move. Thought it'd be a chance to start fresh. Minimalist, clean slate. But sleeping on a bare floor loses its charm after the second night. So, one evening, I sat on a stack of folded blankets, scrolling through Craigslist, a little desperate, a little bored. That's when I saw it. A gray sectional couch, modern and clean. Slightly worn, but oddly perfect. Almost too perfect. The listing was short. No real description, just sectional for sale, $200 OBO, must go ASAP, and a name, Brian. I messaged him immediately. He replied within seconds. His messages were friendly, short. Offered to throw in a few throw pillows for free. Said he was just one town over. Like 20 minutes max. When I told him I only had an SUV and might have to disassemble it to fit, he responded with something I still think about way too often. Hey man, don't even stress it. I've got a pickup. I'll drop it off for you, no charge. It felt generous, helpful, and at the time. That generosity didn't feel strange, it felt lucky. I said sure. We agreed on 5:30 the next day. The whole next day, I was excited. I cleaned. I vacuumed the spot where the couch would go. I even made room in my tiny fridge for a couple beers. Figured I'd offer him one when he dropped it off, as a thank you. I was naive. At 5:20 p.m., I heard a vehicle on my street. A black pickup truck. No couch in the back. It drove by, slowly. Slower than you'd expect. The kind of slow that makes your instincts tighten in your stomach. I watched it disappear down the block. And then, minutes later, it came back. Still no couch. Still crawling. Like it was looking for a house or studying one. Mine. I texted Brian, "Hey, you close?" Nothing. I waited. 5:45, then 6:15. Still nothing. I called, straight to voicemail. Eventually the number just rang dead. Gone. By 7 o'clock, I gave up. At worst, I figured it was a scam. Or maybe he sold it to someone else for more. I was frustrated, disappointed, but not scared. Not yet. I crashed early that night, around 11 p.m. I'd locked up, double-checked the windows, the usual. Sometime around 2:03 a.m., I woke up. Not from a sound, from a feeling. You know that moment between sleep and full awareness, where something doesn't feel right. Then I heard it. The front door creaked. Not slammed, not forced, just creaked. And the thing is, that door always squeaked. It was an old hinge. I recognized it instantly. It was open. I froze. I couldn't breathe. My mind ran through a dozen possibilities. Maybe I forgot to lock it. Maybe it swung open from a breeze. But then I heard them. Footsteps. Slow. Soft. Walking over the creaky wooden floor of my living room. Not pacing. Not searching. Just walking. Calmly. Like someone who knew where they were going. They stopped. At the base of the stairs. Then, a voice. A low, flat, dead voice. Male. He said one word. My name. He said it again. And again. Your name. Your name. No anger. No confusion. Just repetition. Mechanical. Like he was practicing it. I grabbed my phone off the nightstand and dialed 911. Whispered. begged for help. I moved to the closet, slowly, barefoot, trembling, and just as I reached the door, the voice stopped. No footsteps, no creaking, no breathing. Just a dead silence that felt worse than the voice ever did. I stayed in that closet until the police knocked. They searched the entire apartment. Nothing. No sign of forced entry, except the front door lock looked like it had been picked. Not kicked in. Not broken. Picked. Brian's number? Burner. Disconnected before the night even ended. No listing under that number, no ID. And when I described the black pickup, there were no traffic cams that picked up a plate. No neighbors reported seeing it. He was just gone. No couch, no name, no reason. I moved out 3 days later. Left town entirely a month after that. To this day, I have no idea what his plan was. But I'm certain of one thing. It had nothing to do with furniture. April, and the decor that didn't exist back in 2018. I had just moved into a tiny one-bedroom apartment on the edge of town. Nothing special. Old carpet, cheap blinds, that weird musty smell that never fully goes away. But it was mine. I was broke, starting over, and I wanted to make the place feel like home. Craigslist became my best friend. Every night after work, I'd scroll, looking for cheap art, used rugs, secondhand lamps. Just anything that didn't scream lonely apartment with nothing but a mattress. That's when I saw it. A post titled, "Moving Out, Home Decor Bin, $20 OBO." It had no fluff, no overly written description. Just a few blurry pictures of what looked like a giant plastic storage bin filled to the brim with decor. Framed art, pillar candles, string lights, faux succulents, even a small round mirror with a sunburst frame. It was perfect. I messaged the poster, someone named April. She replied instantly, friendly, punctual, the kind of polite that doesn't raise your guard. Said she was moving cross-country for a job, didn't want to throw stuff away, just needed it gone. She even offered to let me take what I wanted from the bin. No pressure, no haggling. Just come and get it. We agreed to meet at a grocery store parking lot at 6 p.m. Somewhere public, well-lit, safe. When I got there, it was just starting to get dark. April texted me, "Hey, still at work. Would you mind swinging by my place instead? It's literally 5 minutes away." I hesitated. Then she followed up. "Totally understand if not, but honestly, you can have the whole bin for free. I just need it gone." I won't lie, the word free did its job. Gas was expensive. I figured 5 minutes can't hurt. She dropped the address, a strip mall lot I vaguely recognized, the kind with an old laundromat and a Chinese takeout place that had been closed for years. When I pulled up, I saw it. A red Toyota SUV parked near the back, engine running, just like she said. But as I waited, no one got out. Until someone did. A man, late 30s, wearing a winter coat zipped up to his neck. He gave a little wave, like we were old friends. "Hey," he called out casually. "April's still stuck at work. She asked me to hand this off to you." He gestured toward the back of the SUV. "I've got the bin right here. Just take it," she said. "No charge." I paused. I hadn't gotten any texts about this. April hadn't mentioned anyone else. Still, I tried to play it cool. "Oh, let me just call her to confirm." He smiled. Then, something changed. His expression dropped. Flat. Cold. I turned back toward my car and pulled out my phone. Dialed. And that's when I heard it. A ringtone. Not mine. Not in my car. Outside. It echoed from just a few feet away. From him. He reached into his coat pocket and silenced the call. That was it. My whole body went cold. I didn't wait to ask questions. I dove into my car, slammed the door, reversed so fast I nearly hit a curb, and took off down the empty street. heart slamming in my throat. When I got home, I sat in silence for an hour. Didn't unpack, didn't eat, just sat there. I kept thinking about that ringtone, about how he said he was just helping April, how she just needed it gone. I checked the listing later that week. Gone. No posts from her ever again. No similar pictures. No red SUV anywhere in town. I even posted my own ad, a decoy, pretending to look for her. Nothing. I realize now, there was no April. She was never at work. There was no home decor bin. And that man, he wasn't trying to give me candles. He was trying to make sure I disappeared. The toolkit and the house in the woods. I'm not the type who fixes things myself. If something breaks, I Google someone. They show up with a van and a name tag. Done. But after moving into my condo, little things started piling up. A bathroom door that wouldn't latch. A cabinet hanging crooked. Outlet plates missing screws. Nothing worth a $300 visit. But annoying enough that I started thinking, maybe I should just get a basic toolkit. I checked retail prices first. $60, $80, $150 for a bag of metal and plastic I'd used twice. So, Craigslist, again. I found a listing titled Complete Tool Bag, Moving Cheap. Pictures showed a solid, brand name roll-up bag stuffed with sockets, a cordless drill, wrenches, levels, way more than I needed. Price, $40. The seller's name was Evan. He replied to my email in 15 minutes, said everything worked, said he could meet any time after 7 p.m. Only catch, he lived just outside the city. When I checked the address, it wasn't a suburb. It was a tiny, rural town I'd never heard of. A cluster of roads off a state highway, swallowed by woods. I almost backed out, but I work late anyway. And $40 for all that? I convinced myself it was fine. A drive. I left the city lights behind fast. Street lights thinned out. Gas stations turned to darkness. My GPS lost signal twice, then reconnected, always lagging a few turns behind. Trees crowded the road, their branches arching overhead like ribs. I checked my rear-view mirror more than usual. Nothing behind me, nothing ahead. When I finally turned onto Evans Road, the pavement broke into patched gravel. Mailboxes leaned at odd angles. Most houses were far back in the trees, if they were houses at all. My headlights caught his place at the last second. A leaning, two-story wood frame home with peeling white paint and a sagging porch. One upstairs window was boarded. Another was open, curtain flapping out into the cold. No other cars, no lights, except one amber glow from inside. I parked at the end of the driveway and left the engine running. I tell myself this was instinct. Maybe it was luck. Inside, he answered after 2 knocks. Mid-30s, hard to tell. Long hair, untrimmed beard, tired eyes. Not threatening, just worn down. "Hey, you the tool bag guy?" he asked. I nodded. He stepped aside. "Come in, it's right there." The place smelled like damp wood and old cigarettes. No overhead lights, just a single weak lamp in the living room. Shadows everywhere. The tool bag sat open on the coffee table. Good brand, real tools, heavy steel, everything rolled in blue cloth. Relief. Okay, this is legit. I relaxed. Big mistake. The red flag I ignored. From where I stood, I could see down a narrow hallway. At the end of it, a back door hanging off its hinges. Literally tilted, gap open to the night. Cold air pushed in each time the wind moved. "Rough door," I joked. He half laughed. "Yeah, raccoons. Been meaning to fix it." I crouched to glance through the bag. Drill, bits, pliers, everything fine. I turned, cash in hand, ready to pay. He wasn't there. No footsteps, no floor creak, No, be right back. He was just gone. Evan? I called out quietly. Nothing. I took a step toward the hallway. Then I saw him. Except it wasn't him. A different man stood in the hall, half in shadow, taller, shoulders filling the frame. I couldn't see his face, just the shape, the breath clouding in the cold from that broken door behind him. Hey, I managed, forcing a laugh. I was just grabbing cash from the car. He didn't move, didn't answer, just blocked the exit. Then I heard it. A subtle shift to my right. Something moving in a dark side room off the living area. Another person. Slow, careful. My brain stopped pretending this was normal. Escape. I didn't run at first. I backed toward the living room lamp, like I was still deciding. Then I pivoted hard and sprinted toward the broken back door. Behind me, hardwood creaks, fast, heavy, multiple sets. Cold air hit my face as I went out the tilted door, cut across frozen leaves, around the back corner of the house. I nearly slipped in mud. My car was still running. As I rounded toward it, someone jumped out from behind the trunk. Close enough that I felt the rush of air. He didn't grab me, didn't yell. He just darted the other way, into the tree line. Why? To cut me off? To scare me back toward the porch? I don't know. I didn't stop to find out. I dove into the driver's seat, slammed it into reverse, peeled out, gravel spraying. I didn't look back until I hit the main road. No headlights followed. After I pulled into a gas station 20 minutes later and sat shaking with the door locked, I still had the cash in my pocket. No tools, no names. When I calmed down enough to think, I searched the address again on my phone. No rental listing, no recent sale. County property records, old, really old. The last update, property condemned, 5 years earlier. Structure unsafe for occupancy. Utilities disconnected. So who was living there? And how many of them were in that house? What I think happened, the tool photos were probably real, maybe lifted from another post. The $40 price, the flexible pickup time, the distance outside the city, all bait for someone willing to travel alone. The broken back door, an easy exit, or an entry point for someone waiting behind the house. The man who let me in wasn't the one blocking the hallway. And the one behind my car, third person, maybe lookout, maybe backup. Whatever the plan was, it depended on me staying inside longer, asking questions, counting tools, handing over cash, maybe stepping deeper into the hall. I didn't, and I'm still here. It's easy to laugh these stories off, to say, that's why I don't use Craigslist. But these weren't just bad deals. They were traps, laid by people who know how to sound normal, helpful, kind, a free delivery, a moving sale, a cheap toolkit in the country. If I had made one different choice, opened a trunk, stepped into a dark hallway, ignored a gut feeling, I might not be here to tell you this. Be careful out there, because monsters don't hide under your bed anymore. They hide behind listings, with free couches, cheap candles, and toolkit deals that are just too good to be true.